And the joke inside the tragedy is this: the only meltdowns that women are allowed are the ones with ROI, return on investment. Your panic must present as a project plan, your rage must submit a budget, your grief has to show a certificate of completion. And it is grief when you are mourning a life that you thought you'd have, but now realize that you're not going to get. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Every Shade podcast. Nama saya adalah Nina. That is Indonesian, I hope. Bahasa for my name is Nina, and Indonesian because Bali isn't what it used to be. I don't know what's got me hung up on midlife crises. Maybe it's because I've got a lot of people around me reinventing themselves. If you've taken a moment to look around you, you'll find that there's a lot of people reinventing themselves. But it got me thinking. The male midlife crisis has had so much attention, however ill presented, but most of the movies, the books, social media, all have it narrowed down to this: men attempting to cling to their youth by getting new, shiny, fast things. New, shiny, fast car, shiny, fast girlfriend, shiny, fast bike, haircut, leather jacket. I personally think most of this is BS, and that a midlife crisis can actually manifest in different ways, including heavy depression, drinking, crippling anxiety. But we're not talking about that today. Today, I want to know what happens when a woman goes through a midlife crisis or tries to go through a midlife crisis, which I think is probably more accurate. If a woman is also trying to cling to her youth, what does she do? Don't say facelift, and don't say shiny fast boobs, Nina. Don't do it. I can think it, but don't say it out loud. Does she get a therapist? Does she quit her job and start a business baking cookies that nobody actually really wants? Does she start knitting really, really badly? Does she go off on some sort of eat, pray, love adventure, finding herself and spirituality in Southern Africa and Southeast Asia? I honestly can't say anything except that the male midlife crisis, as shown, looks like a lot more fun than the lady ones. It would seem that men get these, I guess you'd call them hall passes, right? He's finding himself. He's having an affair with a 23-year-old because, yeah, sure, that's where he's going to find himself. So he's wearing a leather jacket, driving a Porsche. The 23-and-a-half-year-old is in the tiny chair next to him. And what does a woman get? Women's breakdowns must be productive. Therapy, so that's homework. MBA, proof that you're not just flailing through life. Men get motorcycles and women get book clubs that they hate. You get a Peloton bike and you use it as an expensive, ergonomically superior coat rack. Isn't it absolutely insane that even our crises must have a freaking ROI? I find that the male midlife crisis, as displayed, is loud. It's red, it's got stickers on the side, and a really loud engine. You know, one of those ones that you hear. You're sitting outside at some sort of small coffee shop and you hear the engine, but you don't see the car. You're looking around, it's exciting. Well, for women, their midlife crises seem to be more of a silent implosion. You don't get the Porsche. You can't date a 26-year-old for his body and his mind because you would be desperate or pathetic. And so all you really have available is a quiet reinvention via what I call productive suffering. You can suffer, but you must be productive. For example, therapy, certifications, wellness retreats, intensive journaling, extra hot yoga, or even better, let's go back to college. Women in their 40s pursuing graduate degrees not for passion, but as proof of a transformation. A $90,000 receipt that says, I tried to fix myself. An MBA because the first time around, let's be honest, you ended up at a semi-passable college, exiting 4 years later with semi-passable amounts of debt and memories. So you get an MBA at 46, and guess what? Still doing the same job, sitting in the same office, now with more debt. No motorcycle for you, but here's a leather-bound gratitude journal that smells like bergamot. Bergamot. That's the official scent of the female midlife crisis. Bergamot. And it gets worse, though. I didn't know that. I didn't intend for this to be so depressing. Your 15.3 years, rounded up to say 16 years of experience, have left you jaded and with different groups of friends and no actual hobbies that you enjoy, right? That you can take into the next 10 years. In 2015, one time you mentioned a hobby at dinner because you just needed to fill the silence. And here you are, 10 years later, still pretending to like speed walking in the park. You invest yourself heavily into hobbies you hate because you once mentioned them to your husband, and now every year you get a new pair of running shoes, a new spade and shovel set. And now you're the knitting friend, you're the one who hikes, or you're the runner. You haven't run since Obama's first term, sweet pea. You're trapped by your own Pinterest board lies. Yes, I said lies because that is exactly what they are. But wait. My favorite one is photography because it's so expensive and still we continue to indulge and pretend. I've been into photography since 2014. What you're really saying is I own a camera. I've used it twice. It costs about the same as my mortgage payment. Why do we keep telling these fibs? Who are you telling them to? When someone asks you what you do in your free time, you say gardening. Why? Why? I know that I know that you only say gardening because you do it alone. It doesn't require you to leave the house, and you can drink while you do it. You're maintaining an entire personality facade around activities that you actually despise, complete with $4,000 in unused supplies. Honey, if no one was watching, and I mean no one, well, what would you actually do on Saturday? You spent most of your adult life embracing the universal symbol of affordable mediocrity. Holidays chosen not for joy, but because they're survivable. Endurance logistics, short flights, cheap, family friendly. We're not going to lose the kids again. Perfect. You have a biannual? One of those, pilgrimage to Tenerife, but it no longer keeps you anchored because you finally admitted to yourself you actually don't like Tenerife that much. We go to the same Greek island every year because the staff know us and they love us. Lies! The staff or whichever college students couldn't escape the island that year. They don't remember you. You hate it, your husband hates it, the kids are indifferent, but it's 600 pounds and no one has to decide anything new because no one, and I mean no one, likes Tenerife that much. Or is it Tenerife? Tenerife. Oh God. We're just gonna go to the cabin. We love going to the cabin. The cabin tradition that's really just inertia. The family reunion you attend like it's jury duty. You've outsourced your joy to TripAdvisor's top 10 mediocre places our marriage can survive. That small little pebble. Nobody likes a Pebble Beach. Take note, Brighton. Ugh. Of course, we can't leave out the keep, return, donate, cleanse. You know, that just screams reinvention. I think I'm going to start wearing culottes now. I think I can wear culottes. You send 16 photos to your friends asking if you should keep that dress that you only wore once. You can't wear it now because you're leading the PTA at your kid's school, but that dress reminds you so much of those days, the days it is that you think you're grasping onto. And what do your friends do? What role do your friends play in your midlife crisis? If a man chooses to express his crisis through a tiny red car, his friends will come round to see the shiny red Porsche purring in the driveway. He'll get slapped on the back. There'll be massive grins as if to say, you actually did it, man. You did it. You went there. And the second a woman whispers, I'm unraveling, how many people literally whip out a clipboard just to ensure a full assessment is made about her capacity, her capability to continue to run the household? I dare you to post in one of your group chats or 3 of your group chats. All of them are called Moms Who Bake, so it should be easy. And see how many of these you get back. Have you considered breath work or raw cacao nibs? Like that. And the joke inside the tragedy is this. The only meltdowns that women are allowed are the ones with ROI, return on investment. Your panic must present as a project plan. Your rage must submit a budget. Your grief has to show a certificate of completion. And it is grief when you are mourning a life that you thought you'd have, but now realize that you're not going to get. Or you're mourning a past that you didn't get to enjoy as much because, well, you made some grown-up decisions, some grown-ass-up decisions. Grown-ass up. Don't let anyone fool you. You can mourn something you've never had. But the world loves a woman in crisis as long as her breakdown comes with PowerPoint slides, bullet points, and a learning outcome. They've turned your abyss into a syllabus. You know, there must be this growth that happens that we can all share in to make her crisis, her meltdown, okay. She couldn't just have had 2 months of reckless abandon where she sat on her sofa in her underpants. But Mary, what did we learn from that? If you stopped and thought about it, the woman's midlife crisis is triggered when you have the very real midlife realization that your entire personality is reactive. Career, pay bills, hobbies, the ones that require no babysitter, vacations, what's really left after everyone else's needs are met. Contrast this with the male crisis narrative. Men find themselves. Women realize that everybody else is emergency contact. If I subtracted every choice you made out of obligation, what's left? Do you even have a favorite color anymore? Or just the one, that hides the stains, doesn't show baby sick, washes and dries real fast, and dare I say it, hides the bulge that our fake running hobby is slowly tackling. Years of being useful have left you jaded, giving you hobby amnesia and a low-grade loneliness that wine and a blossoming rose garden can mask, but will not fix. Who are you when you are not responding, surrounded by all these people, all these hobbies, and still... A man can liquidate his 401k, buy a boat, and all a woman allows herself is a micro-rebellion. He reclaims himself with something he's never done before but always wanted to do, and she reclaims her agency with some low-stake changes like changing her hair color. I think I'm going to go red. And then you test a real bigger pivot by talking about it. The trick of womanhood is that so much of our personality is a response. We've curated a museum of tolerable things and we've called it me. When someone says, tell me about yourself, are you just listing all the things it is you do in response to life's triggers? And because everyone now has bunions, I say this. Maybe you don't have to be a good student of your sadness. Maybe your sacred rebellion is to fail the assignment, skip a class, return the curated wellness box that was made of actual wood, that fell of its own volition in the Amazon and then was carved by monks. Eat a peach over the sink like a feral saint. Acknowledge that this thing that's happening to you, it's okay. And you don't have to make it pretty. You don't have to make it respectful, just so that the world can raise up a card that says 10. Let this time be about self-discovery. Confront the past. Reassess the meaning of life. Find your purpose in the transition. Do it with plant-based milk and bran muffins, but do it your way. Maybe you start with 5 quiet minutes where you don't optimize a damn thing. No affirmations, no foam rolling, no tracking your intake, no tracking your outtakes. Just sit there with the animal of your life until it stops pacing. Attend the book club and admit you didn't read the book because the plot lost to your actual life. Cancel something that you only do so you can look good in group photos, so you can have group photos. Whisper no until you have the audacity to say it with your full chest. Give permission for your crisis to be real without being performative. Let it take whatever form is required for you to get through this stage of life, to pass through to the other side, and whatever it may hold. I realize now, as I'm running out of air, that I actually haven't answered the question that I started to ask. So I guess my encouragement to myself today is, Thelma and Louise is the ultimate exploration of freedom, empowerment, and self-discovery for women. And if you stop watching it a few minutes before the end, it's not so sad. Until next time, it's Every Shade.